Dear lovely learners and literature lovers, welcome back to our channel MIT Scare. Today we explore one of the most powerful and thought-provoking short stories in American literature. The Story of an Hour by Kate Chopin. This seemingly simple story unfolds within just 60 minutes of a woman's life, yet it reveals an entire universe of emotion, conflict, and psychological transformation. Kate Chopin, a pioneer of early feminist literature, often wrote about the inner lives of women, lives shadowed by social expectations and silent suffering. The Story of an Hour is one such masterpiece. In only one page, Chopin exposes the hidden desires of a woman longing for freedom, questioning the institution of marriage, and revealing the dramatic irony of life. Kate Chopin, born Catherine O'Flaherty on February 8, 1850 in St. Louis, Missouri, was an influential American author widely regarded as one of the earliest feminist writers in American literature. She grew up in a culturally rich environment shaped by strong, independent women. Her mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother after losing her father at a young age. This upbringing deeply influenced her later writing about women's emotions, desires, and inner conflicts. In 1870, she married Oscar Chopin and moved to Louisiana, where she was exposed to Creole and Cajun cultures. These experiences enriched her storytelling, giving her fiction a distinctive Southern flavor. After her husband's death in 1882, Chopin faced financial difficulties and personal struggles. Encouraged by her family doctor, she turned to writing as a form of emotional healing. Chopin soon became known for her boldness in addressing topics such as marriage, identity, female independence, and psychological freedom, subjects considered controversial in her time. Her short stories, like The Story of an Hour, Desire is Baby, and The Storm, received recognition for their emotional depth and honesty. Her most famous work, The Awakening, 1899, portrayed a woman's struggle for autonomy and challenged the social norms of the 19th century. Although heavily criticized during her lifetime for its progressive ideas, the novel is now celebrated as a groundbreaking feminist text. Kate Chopin died of a brain hemorrhage on August 22, 1904, at the age of 54. Today, she is honored as a visionary writer who courageously explored the inner lives of women long before society was ready to hear their stories. Now I'll describe or discuss about four characters whose are the central characters of this story. First one is Mrs. Louise Mallard, the protagonist, a sensitive, emotionally complex woman who suffers from her struggle. Her psychological journey from grief to freedom forms the core of the story. Next, Brantley Mallard, Louise's husband, believed to be dead in a railway accident. Her unexpected return creates the shocking climax. Third one, Josephine, Louise's caring sister who gently breaks the tragic news to her. Richards. Finally, the character of this story, the Brantley's husband who first learns of the accident and helps deliver the news. Each character plays a small yet significant role in shaping the emotional landscape of Louise's final hour. Now, I will describe the summary of this story, the story of an hour. The story opens with the delicate news of Bradley Mullet's death being delivered to Louise, who suffers from a weak heart. Her sister Josephine tries to soften the shock, and Lucy breaks down in uncontrollable grief. But when she retreats alone to her room, sitting before an open window, something unexpected begins to unfold. She notices the beauty of the world outside, the singing sparrows, the scent of rain, and patches of blue sky breaking through the clouds. Gradually, a new emotion sweeps over her. It is freedom. Lucy realizes that her husband's death means liberation from the roles, boundaries, and silent pressures of marriage. Though she loved him, sometimes she now envisions a future where she would live for herself. She whispers, "Free, free, free." Her heart beats with new strength. Her body feels warm and alive, but just as she rejoices in her newfound independence, the door opens and Bradley Mullet walks in unharmed and unaware of any accident. The shock is too much. Louise collapses and dies. The doctors declare she died of heart disease, of joy that kills. But the tragic irony is clear. She died not from joy, but from the devastating loss of her short-lived freedom. Theme of this story. First one, freedom and self-assertion. The central theme is the profound, almost spiritual sense of freedom that Louise experiences for the first time. She imagines a life shaped by her own will. The complex nature of marriage. Chopin boldly suggests that marriage, no matter how gentle or loving, can sometimes suppress individuality and personal desire. Third, repression and emotional conflict. Lucy's emotions shift from grief to liberation, revealing the internal battles many women of her era silently endured. Irony of life and death. The story ends with sharp irony. The world believes she died from joyful shock, while the truth is far more heartbreaking. The story of an hour is not just about a woman's sudden death, it is about the unseen struggles behind closed doors, the longing for autonomy, the quiet sacrifices, and the price society demands from women. Kate Chopin, with extraordinary brevity, shows how 1 hour, one moment of awakening can change everything. Louise Mullet tested freedom only for a moment, but that moment was powerful enough to reveal the depth of her suppressed spirit. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep analysis, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more advanced literature breakdowns.